So after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a few predictable things did happen. Obviously, there were like evil left-wing anonymous accounts who were just cheering all over the internet, and some of them got 335,000 likes and 4.1 million views on this one. Just not only being totally unsympathetic, just actively cheering that he had died. Right? They were thrilled that this had happened to him, and again, some of these got hundreds of thousands of likes. This is, I think, it's safe to say, a very widespread opinion on the left. And that's just judging from the anonymous Twitter sphere. You got the sort of blue sky types who were Elon next, Andy No, Benny Johnson, Ben Shapiro, just hoping that, again, in stochastic terrorist style, one of their number would be enough of a lunatic to go out and shoot someone else. It's like, right, okay. And then you get TikTokers who are posting things like this. I feel bad for Charlie Kate's family. I don't. F his grown-ass wife for marrying and supporting a literal fascist who wanted to harm on the marginalised group and have no empathy at all. I hope his kids have a better father now. Hearts. Hashtag dark woke. Well, at least we know what dark woke means. Dark woke means be as evil as possible. Hopefully all of your enemies get killed by one of your number, and then you dance on the grave. I mean, the idea that, like, her complaint is Charlie Kirk doesn't have empathy is remarkable, because, I mean, aren't you guys complaining all the time that the Israelis are just killing the Palestinians? And this is horrific, because the Israelis are happy to do it from your perspective, and some Israelis cheer, and you're like, oh my God, this is a horrible, horrible thing. But they're doing it for ideological reasons. I mean, have you ever asked what the Palestinians actually think about the marginalized groups that you love so much? How do you think they feel about transgenders or gays, for example? How do you think they feel about minorities in their own country, assuming they even have any left? Like, these people are cheering because Charlie Kirk was killed of his opinions, because they don't like the content of his opinions, and then complain, oh, the Palestinians are being killed. And that's not even for their opinions they're being killed. They're being killed because of Hamas. But if they were to ask the Palestinians anything about their opinions, they'd be like, oh, wait, I'm glad you're dead, and I hope your kids have a better father now. Hashtag dark woke at them. Because they'd discover that the people they're defending, well, honestly, they're to the right of Charlie Kirk on almost every liberal issue that there is. So there's a deep and abiding contradiction in all of this. But of course, none of it is about that. It is about, he is an enemy, and these are a client group, our client group. And so the other enemy, Israel, is killing our client group, therefore bad. One of our enemies has been killed, therefore good. And it doesn't matter what the content of the character or the belief system of either client group or enemy is, because that's not what this is about. Anyway, so the thing that was really remarkable, I mean, you can see how emboldened they all are from all of this. They don't think there's anything wrong with doing this. In fact, they think they're going to get upvotes from their fellow leftists by posting this kind of thing. But it's the brazenness that really struck me. Like, you've got here a teacher called Angela Lavallee celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. She teaches at a particular school, and she's cheering for the death of Charlie Kirk. She's like, no, I don't care. It's good that he's dead. And it's like, right, okay. Why is she so confident? Why does she think she can just turn around and be like, yeah, obviously we're happy to kill a fascist. Obviously that's fine. Obviously it's fine that this guy who doesn't agree with left-wing morality should be murdered in front of his children. Now let me go back and teach the class of children that this is a good thing. What's she teaching them? It's kind of mad. And then you've got other people who, again, these are all people who are making public statements, who are just like, yeah, no, it's, Gaza. Oh, Gaza. It's like, okay, but again, the people of Gaza supported Hamas. The people of Gaza support quite a hardline version of Islam. The people of Gaza are to the right of Charlie Kirk on almost every issue, but that's not going to impact you on this, because it's not really about that, is it? It's really about the fact that they're yours and he's his. and it's good that he's dead. But again, why is she so brazen about it? Why can't she be like, oh no, hang on a second, this is quite bad. We should probably at least say that's terrible and we're against political violence. Instead, they're like, well, it's worse for the people in Gaza. We don't care about vocal Islamophobe and bigot. Like, okay, all right. I mean, you see here, Ilhan Omar and Mehdi Hassan can barely contain their glee. Just like they talk about, oh, look, unhappy faces, but then they start laughing. Like, what's so funny, guys? What's so funny about all of this? And look, other people in the replies are like, oh yeah, look, they seem happy. And it's like, right, okay, interesting. Even like mainstream left-wing figures don't care about this. And then you have the example of the Oxford Union president who just openly celebrated it, right? This, what's his name? It's some weird foreign name. Mr. Abaronier. I can't. George Abaronier. I can't pronounce it right. Some immigrant name. And he just came out and was like, Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's effing go. And it's like, okay. And another ones were like, Charlie Kirk got shot. Lol. Exactly. So you can see these people just hate him and want him to die. And the thing is, this guy debated Charlie Kirk not so long ago. So there's no human connection there. Honestly, no empathy whatsoever. No amount of just concern about a fellow human being. He was like, I disagreed with him, and it's good that he's dead. And so you've got lots of people objecting to this, understandably, and no one cares. And when it comes to the very end of it, you've got Richard Tice saying, look, he celebrated the killing of a political opponent. An example needs to be made. You would think, and I've heard that he's a bit of a diversity hire because his grades aren't exactly that good. So how did he even get into Oxford, let alone become the head of the Oxford Union? But the Oxford University declined to comment, but the spokesman did say, well, the Oxford Union is independent of the university and therefore there's no crossover whatsoever. We deplore comments appearing to endorse violence. They are unacceptable and entirely contrary to the values of our community. And he's still the president of the Oxford Union. Nothing has changed. And what's interesting is, like, he has, in debates, previously come out and said, oh no, we should use violence. If there's something that we feel is oppressing us, we should use violence against it. It's like, all right, so it is actually entirely within the spirit of what is promoted at the Oxford Union. And as these students of Oxford University, and they haven't been kicked out of Oxford University, I think it's safe to say that Oxford University does indeed endorse and co-sign everything that they're saying. So, okay, that's really weird, right? That's really, really weird how we have got a political environment on the left that is just so accepting of all of this. It's just completely normal to them. And so the question is, well, what do we do? What is our reaction? Now, there was a doxing website made, which I don't endorse. I don't like doxing. I'm not gonna turn around and say you're terrible people for getting a lot of the teachers and whatnot fired, because a lot of them do deserve it. But this to me doesn't feel like the right way of resolving the problem. But I can't think of anything else. I can't think of any other way to do it. There has to be a price to be paid, right? If you're going to just cheer when one of our guys gets killed, well, free speech isn't freedom from consequences. I have been reliably told by people like Mehdi Hassan when they had the whip hand. So, like I say, I'm not going to endorse it, but I'm not going to condemn it either. But the thing is, we have to think about the kind of world that we're in, because these people are an accurate reflection of the left. The left has just gone full mask off at this point, but like, yeah, no, we are actually bloodthirsty lunatics. We're complete psychopaths. We are happy to murder you, and we will cheer about it when you're dead. And we will congratulate the killers. I mean, look at Luigi Magnoni or whatever. Just killed a guy in broad daylight in cold blood. I think it was at night, actually. But he killed a guy on the street in cold blood, and he was made a hero. It's like, right, that's a real problem, man. Like, that's a real problem that we have to grapple with. And I don't know what the solution is. But you have to be aware. I mean, this is just the end of the bond of sentiment that underpins any civic polity. At this point onwards, if it wasn't clear up until this point, there is just a cold civil war going on. And in fact, it seems, and I think there's not a stretch to say this, that actually it's starting to turn hot. This is what is happening. When their guys start shooting, and not even our guys, the CEO of the healthcare company, not my guy, he's not on my team, but I don't want him dead. Like, obviously. Like, I don't know anything about him, so I can't say he's one of ours. But Charlie Kirk was one of ours, and they murdered him, and they're cheering about it. So I think it's fairly safe to say the Civil War is probably here. Now, what I am definitely saying is don't go out and do something stupid. Obviously, we're going to deal with all of this lawfully, and eventually we're going to make it so this isn't a problem. But at the moment, I think literally all we're going to be able to do is just make sure everyone is aware of the kind of people that they are. And I realize this won't be a satisfying conclusion to this video, that a lot of people will say, well, that's kind of centrist and milquetoast. It's like, yeah, it is, because I live in England and I'm on YouTube. So, of course, I'm going to, the kind of response that you're going to get from me. But be aware, this is what civil wars look like. Starting not just civil wars either, often start with an assassination in a politically charged environment. And instead of any kind of reconciliation or grieving on the part of the political faction that caused the problem, there's mirth, merriment, joy, and celebration instead. It's like, right, okay, so we aren't friends. We can't get along. There's going to be a reckoning. And unfortunately, and I really mean this, I don't want this to be the case. It just seems like this is going to spiral out of control. If the left can't get a grip on themselves, then what do they think is going to happen?